What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to be showing off our Red Dragon ARCHFIEND deck profile. I've updated it multiple times for those of you long people watching me. You know, I've had this deck for a long time and I've been doing deck profiles on it for a long time, so I've been still playing it in behind the scenes, but it is very good and its end board is pretty wicked. Yeah. So, first card, I'll go over it for any of those you who don't know. I'd say most of you know because it's done to death, but basically, Soul Resonator, we're going over our one-card starters first, and I'll explain how they are one-card starters, but Soul Resonator searches for a Fiend monster from your deck. 9 times out of 10, you're going to be searching your Bone ARCHFIEND, and going into your plays that way, and this is literally just a one-card starter. From this card, you go into Bone, and there's loads of other ways. I can show a combo video maybe at the end, we'll see. It also has a defense effect where it can banish itself and save your Red Dragon ARCHFIEND, or save a destruction. The next, it's a 1.5 card starter because you have to special summon it. Yeah, you have to special summon it, so you have to use a random card in your hand or a random card on the field to destroy or send to the grave. But basically what it does is it can special summon itself by discarding a card or destroying a card on the field or whatever, and then you can send a Fiend Tuner from deck to grave and then level it up or level it down. So normally what you do for this to be a one card starter would be to discard a card, special summon it, and then send off your Vision Resonator. Vision Resonator will get a search of like Dark Gaia, and then you can normal summon back your Soul Resonator and then get whatever else you need for your plays then. But again, it's a 1.5 card starter. Get my stuff in order here. Okay, the next one is Earthbound Prisoner Stone Sweeper. So, I suppose you could run this at 2, but it is a discard and searches for your Soul Resonator, which is pretty cool. It searches any level 3 or lower Fiend monster. Also, if you have a field spell, which we are running field spells, you can special summon it. So, I mean, it's kind of an extender and a searcher, but again, one card starter. Our next one card starter is Crimson Gaia. Crimson Gaia is an amazing card. Basically, all you do is you just search your Soul Resonator from this card. But it basically searches any Red Dragon ARCHFIEND or a card that meant from deck or grave to hand. So you can search your Vision Resonator, you can search for your Red Zone, you can search for other stuff. And then if a card is destroyed, even on your turn, you can special summon a Red Dragon ARCHFIEND from the graveyard. And that comes up a lot, just to get those last few points of damage in for the OTK or whatever. The one Resonator Call searches your Soul Resonator. I don't want to run too many of these because you're running Stone Sweeper, so there's no point. Pot of Prosperity, again, it's technically a one card starter because all you're doing is searching for your Soul Resonator. And Foolish is a one card starter because if you send Vision from the deck, Vision searches your Red Gaia, and like I said, Red Gaia is the first one card starter. So you're in a good few one card starters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 one card starters, really, when you think about it. As well as a few engine cards that we'll go over. But anyway, so these are the cards. These next few cards are cards you don't really want to see in your opening hand, but they're not starters. You get what I mean? So they're kind of like extenders / pivotal combo pieces. Some, not all, but yeah. So we have 2 Vision Resonator. The reason for that is you send one off Bone and the other one it's just for follow-up play. You can run one, but I find if you Foolish one and then search with Dark Gaia, bring it back, it's possible. It's just not optimal. Crimson Resonator is one of those cards that it's pivotal to the main end board, but it's not really doable. If it doesn't work, it's completely useless. So basically what you do is you'd send Bone ARCHFIEND, send this from the deck, and then when you go into Red Rising with Crimson Resonator or Soul Resonator and Bone, you use Red Rising special summon this, and then you can special summon a Vision and a Synchron Resonator from your deck, and then that's how you go into your main plays. And then Synchron Resonator, again, very good card. It special summons itself from the hand if you have a Synchro monster. And if you use it as a Synchro, you can add back to your hand. I think at the time of the combo, you'll be adding back Vision, or you'll be adding back Soul Resonator from your deck to your hand, and Vision gets to special summon itself again for another Synchro play, so that's pretty cool. So those ones you don't really want to see in your opening hand. I mean, it's doable if you do, but yeah, you don't really want to. The next one is Red Lotus Flame King Crime. So this is kind of if your opponent stops your Bone Archfiend in any way, shape or form, or destroys it, whatever. What you do is you use Soul to search this, and this ends on just a negate and a board wipe. Worst case scenario. So you'd have Flame Crime, and what he does is he special summons himself, inflicts damage depending on how many fires are on the field. And then if he's synchro summoned, you get to send a trap from deck. So what you'd normally send is Red Rain. And Red Rain would, when you go into Red Rising Dragon, you synchro then for Soul and Red Rising Dragon to go into Abyss. And Abyss then, because Abyss was summoned, you get special bring Red Rain back from the graveyard to your side of the field. And then you have a negate obviously with Abyss. And then if your opponent kind of is, you basically Nibiru, but banish everything with that. So yeah, the next card is Obsessive Overloop. It is kind of important to get a little bit extra with the likes of Dispatter. So Dispatter, you normally summon Dispatter in the combo and then use Obsessive Overloop to banish something, so you can special summon it with Dispatter. If that doesn't work, we are running Bestials to banish something, so we can get that extra bit of combo for that. But Overloop is a very good card. I find myself constantly, because this deck kind of special summons from the banish, it's important. One kind of card that a lot of people probably aren't running and no need to run is Scarlet Security, but it is a searchable Harpies if you have a Red Dragon Archfiend on the field. And the reason I need to run more cards is because of the amount of kind of, I counted the 9 cards you don't want in your original hand, so there is a lot of cards that you don't want in your hand. So Scarlet Security is one of those, but you're kind of adding more cards in your deck so that you don't draw them. I would ideally love to be running a 49 card deck, because then you're less likely to see those other 9 cards. But yeah, the next card is Red Rain, like we mentioned. Red Rain is searchable off Red Lotus, so that's why you do not want to see it in your opening hand. But again, not the worst case if you do, because if you have a level 8 or higher synchro, you can just banish all your opponent's monsters. Red Zone, searchable off Dark Gaia or Crimson Gaia and Vision Resonator. This card is a 2-card effect, so basically what it does is it has a pop if your opponent activates a card or effect while you have Red Dragon Archfiend on the field. And it does as well, it special summons a banished synchro monster. So let's say somebody actually does get rid of your Dispatter, you can use the likes of Overloop to banish Dispatter from the graveyard, and then use Red Zone to bring it back, and then special whatever other banished monster you've had. So that's why it is important. That's kind of it for that portion of the deck. And then now we're running like little small engines and hand traps and stuff. So the first little engine we're running is the Bestial stuff. So we have Lubellion. Lubellion and the Bestials are really, really good cards, so there's no need not to run them. As well as, like, we're searching either we're using this to either search for a search card, search for a destruction, or search for like you know, whatever. Special summons itself and then gets regained back, or searches out regained as well. Magnum up because we're going to search for our Druid Swarm in general. Baldrake because it stops extra deck monsters and stuff, and it's just a really good card. And then the Druid Swarm because we're going to search Druid Swarm, and then on your opponent's turn have a disruption or whatever. And then the 1 regained because you just gain too much benefits from this when it's searched from Lubellion. You don't want to see it in your opening hand, obviously. You want to search it from Lubellion, but yeah, you're going to be banishing constantly, and then you're going to get stuff back, so it's nice that way. So that's the Bestial engine that we're running. The next little engine is a Centurion package, very small Centurion package. So we're running the one Trudea, Primera, and Gargoyle. So I think one of the newest cards is Trudea in this deck. So basically what you do is off of a stand-up Centurion. Well, the way it works is in the combo you have the option to special summon your second Vision and synchro with Dispatter to go for a level 12, and Oxilla is going to search you your field spell, and your field spell is going to search you Trudea. Trudea is going to put Gargoyle. Sorry, this is the spell trap card zone. Trudea is going to put Gargoyle in your spell trap card zone, and then when your opponent summons something, you're going to go for a 12. Or Premier or whatever, and go for 12. Yeah, and then if you don't have a Trudea or you didn't get your Trudea, you can still go with the Primera route. So Auxilla, Stand-Up Centurion, search this. Normal summon, this searches for Auxilla, or searches for a Gargoyle. Gargoyle destroys Primera, and then you end your turn, and then Stand-Up Centurion. Auxilla will put, what way do you do it now? Primera searches for Gargoyle. Yeah. Gargoyle destroys Primera. Oh yeah, and Auxilla at the end of the turn puts this back in Spell and Trap Guard zone, and then your Stand-Up Centurion, when your opponent summons something, summons out to Primera. So that's how that works, yeah. Pretty much. Sorry, I just had a brain fart there. And then the 2 field spells. You can run 3, but yeah, I don't have much. Like, Centurion plays kind of stops the combo, the main combo a little bit, so that's why 2 I think is perfect in my opinion. And next for the board breaker / hand traps, running 3 Ash Blossom, a Book of Eclipse. I think I'm going to up the Book of Eclipse. But yeah, Book of Eclipse. What Book of Eclipse does is puts all your opponent's monsters in face down defense position, and then Red Dragon Archfiend's effect is to destroy all monsters in face down defense position. So there's kind of a bit of synergy with that. 2 Dark Ruler, because you can OTK, but if you can't get over your opponent's board, there's no point. So you're better off setting up your 3 negates or 3 disruptions or whatever. A Lightning Storm and a Call by the Grave. You can run Imperm if you want. I'm not running it in this current build. I mean, you can, but yeah. It is what it is. Okay, so a really quick honorable mention is going to be Red Nova Dragon. So I just seen Maze of Millennia is coming out, and it has the Earthbound card that lets you get rid of your Red Dragon Archfiend and special summon this out. Cheat this out basically with the search from Crimson Gaia or whatever. Yeah, pretty much. So it's going to be a cool card. We'll see if there's an update when that happens. But for now, let's get into the extra deck. So we have the 1 Auxilla, like I said. In the combo, you're going to search or special summon either Disbar or Bane, and search or special summon your Vision, synchro for 12, and then search your stand up, and then go for the Centurion play. So you can go for Crimson Dragon, and then Crimson Dragon will go to the other card. So there's your Crimson Dragon. So what you want to do is summon your Crimson Dragon on your opponent's turn, and then target Auxilla to go for Cosmic Blazer. And Cosmic Blazer is just a really, really good card with a really, really cool negate, pretty much. And that is the reason for those. Next, our 10s is Disbatter and Bane. Disbatter is just an amazing card. Special summons a banished card as well as kind of a disruption. If your opponent has a banished monster or you have a banished monster, it either destroys or negates. And then Bane just special summons back from the grave like a monster born for some of your... Like if you to get rid of your Abyss, you can just special summon it back. 2 Abyss because it's just too good not to run 2. Because you're running 1 will be used with like Synchron Resonator, and the second will be used for like follow-up play with Soul Resonator and then Flame Crime. You know, so there is a way to go into 2 in a second turn just in case your opponent does get rid of the second one. Excuse me. The next one is Trish. So Trishula misses timing sometimes in certain ways, but basically what you do is Crimson Dragon, target the Abyss, and then special summon Trishula on your opponent's turn. I think as long as nothing else interacts with it. Then you have the 1 OG Red Dragon Archfiend. The 1 Scarlight just to pop your opponent's field. The Scarred Dragon Archfiend, when you use this, this pops, yeah, this destroys spell or face down defense position monsters. And this one, if it's used as like a synchro material, you get special from this from the extra deck, and it gets to pop a card then as well if your opponent does have a monster. And then yeah, it goes off in your plays. It's basically it's important to all the plays. Void Ogre. There are some times when you go for an 8 with the Centurion stuff as well, and then you just end up with this. It's still a negate, spell and trap negate, which is pretty nice. And then we're running the 1 7 of Coibelt. I've never really gone into this card, but just in case it comes in clutch, you can manipulate your Bone Archfiend's level to make this easier to summon. And the 2 Red Rising. It's a main part of your combo piece, and it's important, so, you know. And then the last card, Everyone's King. You have to run it, because Jack Atlas and stuff, you know. Okay, so let's just do a quick 2-card combo. So basically, it's this card and any one of these cards. if you do have them in your hand, there's other ways to search these as well. So if you have like Earthbound Sweeper and you have this, you can just go for this and then that's your play. Okay, so let's normal summon your soul. Your soul is going to search you Bone Archfiend. Bone Archfiend is going to discard either or card. Let's say for this, for instance, it's Crimson. And then Bone Archfiend is going to special summon itself. I don't know if you can see, but there's a graveyard. Bone Archfiend's effect then will go off to send the other piece, which is Uvaloop, to the grave. So that now is a level 3, and that's a level 3. You're going to synchro these two. To go into, should bear with me, Red Rising. Red Rising's effect is special summon back the Crimson from grave. And then Crimson's effect is to special summon. I don't have these laid out, so they're going to be, it's going to be a second. Yeah, to special summon these two. Now these are going to be in defense position. I just have no space, as you can see. So yeah, yeah. Next, you're going to synchro Vision and Red Rising to go for Scarred. Next of all, your Vision effect activates, which searches you Crimson Gaia. So you can activate your Crimson Gaia's effect. I'll move these up, and Crimson Gaia is here, as you can see. Crimson Gaia's effect to search out your red zone for later plays. Yeah, and you just set your red zone, let's say. Then Scarred is going to synchro off with Synchron Resonator to go for an Abyss. There's Abyss. And then 2 effects go off, so you can chain link or chain block your opponent. So you can go for Scarred as 1 and Synchron as 2. So 2 goes off first. Vision, get back to your hand, and then Scarred special summons a OG Red Dragon Archfiend from the deck. Okay, so then you have this in your hand and this. Okay, so the next thing you can do is go into these two and go for a Disbatter. Okay, and then remember we got rid of that Uvaloop earlier. So the Uvaloop is going to add back to your hand, and you are going to banish the Scarred. Disbatter then is going to special summon back the Scarred. And then you can go into, so you do have options here, so you can either go into Oxilla 2 different ways if you want to keep your Disbatter, you want to keep the Red Dragon Archfiend alive. For this purpose, I suppose you can do both, I suppose. Let's just go into, so Uvaloop is an important part, but let's say you didn't have the Uvaloop and we're going into Disbatter or whatever. So let's say the Vision, special summon Vision because you control a synchro monster. And then synchro with 2 Disbatter and that. To go into Oxilla. Excuse me. Oxilla is going to search you out your field spell. Sorry about that. Your field spell. Stand Up Centurion. And we're going to activate Stand Up Centurion. I'm going to put Stand Up Centurion just here, just for now, just to show. And then what we can do is, let's say we can actually discard the card that we added, even though we still have 3 cards in our hand, let's say from if we're first turn and your opponent hasn't had any interruptions, obviously. You're going to discard this to send the card from your hand to graveyard and place Centurion spell and trap card zone. Okay, so we're going to put, let's say for this instant, Primera. And Primera is going to be in the spell and trap card zone, and then because it's a trap, you can special summon it. And because that was special summoned, you can search for a Gargoyle. And then Gargoyle effect is going to be destroy Primera, special summon itself. And that is it. Then what you're going to do is end your turn, and Oxilla is going to put this back into the spell and trap card zone. And then basically, so what you have is you have a negate. And you have, when your opponent summons something, you're going to special out the Primera. Primera is going to synchro with Gargoyle and Primera, and you're going to summon out, oh, I absolutely hopped off the camera there, Crimson Dragon. Gargoyle is going to activate its effect to bring back to your hand, which is there. Crimson Dragon is going to target the Oxilla and special summon Cosmic Blazer. So you're going to have 2 negates with a disruption. And if you banished anything else, you're going to be able to special summon it to your field as well. But that's basically like a good enough combo. Like if you destroy something as well, let's say your opponent destroys something or you destroyed something, you get special summon straight away with Crimson Gaia's effect, Red Dragon Archfiend, you know, and this kind of protects your face of spell and traps, so these can't be destroyed anyway. You know, that's just from literally 1.5, well, 2 card combos, you know. That's easily searchable, Vision Resonator and the other thing, you know. But yeah, I hope you liked the video, guys. Good luck.